That is LeBron James telling the NFL that the institution of the NFL, owes Colin Kaepernick an apology. I find this fascinating. I swear to God, I do. And I will tell you, I love LeBron James because no athlete in my lifetime that I can think of in the prime of his career has been more politically active and opinionated than LeBron James. And, the way OJ Simpson, the famous line, I'm not black, I'm OJ, or Michael Jordan, the famous line, Republicans wear sneakers too, or buy sneakers too. Mm-hmm. Those were guys that in their primes, they elevated to a certain financial level and they said goodbye to the community. Hey, I'm rich. These are the people I now live amongst. These are the people I now socialize with. Goodbye, community. If I made it, you can make it. Good luck. LeBron James has far and away eclipsed any of the wealth at this stage of his career than those guys ever saw. Don't get me wrong. Jordan was making a shit ton of money, and Jordan has gone on to be an institution and keep generating money. But when money's on the line, you try and decide, should I say something because that's where my heart is, or should I shut up because that's where my wallet is? LeBron James has become such a monster star and brand that he can and will and does say what he wants to say. And he's so big individually. And remember, behind LeBron James stands the entire NBA. Okay? LeBron James to say that the NFL owes Colin Kaepernick an apology is like pretty much saying, I'm not saying that about Jerry Jones, me to Jerry. I'm saying that me and the NBA believe that you, the NFL, owe that man an apology. And by the way, we've already seen what happens when LeBron starts to share his clout and lean his weight onto a situation. It's that constant bombardment of, oh my God, you're talking about the most famous, most influential, most opinionated, most powerful, most branded African-American man on the planet. And he is now putting all of his resource into, you owe the man an apology. And the reason I bring it up is this. I read an amazing opinion piece today in the New York Times, and I'm going to pass it on to you because it was given to me. I wish I could tell you that I'm so cool and sophisticated that I read the New York Times, but I don't really. And it came to me from a listener who said, hey, I know you've really been into trying to help in some way. And here's something that, you should probably read. So I'm going to pass this on to everybody else, and you guys should read it too. And this is from Christopher Moreno. Okay. And Christopher Moreno, you see him in our YouTube chat. You see him on Sided. Chris, thank you for sending this to me. And I'm going to pay it forward by passing this on to everybody else. And I'm going to make this comparison. LeBron James says that the NFL owes Colin Kaepernick an apology. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. On the surface, they probably do because, let's face it, they ruined his football career. On the other hand, maybe they don't because he sued them. He won. He's wealthy for life. And it's not like football killed his financial life. In fact, if anything, being kicked out of the NFL probably helped his financial life, very frankly. But I read this piece today in the New York Times. Are you willing to give up your privilege? And the headline is, Philanthropy alone won't save the American dream. And the gentleman who writes this article is named Darren Walker, and I don't know who he is, but it says Mr. Walker is the president of the Ford Foundation. So I wind up going on to read this, and I'm reading through all of this, and then they show a picture. You'll see it if you look it up. You see this picture, and he's an African-American man, and he's standing in this tall building in New York City, and he's super well-dressed, and he tells you that he's made it. He's one of the guys who made it. I am black. I am American. I achieved ultra wealth. I have made it. And that's what he's telling you. But then what he says is, look, you can donate money to causes that are pro-black charities or charities that work with inner city and police and violence, you can give your money to anybody. And he tells the story about being at a really expensive $100,000 a table, important dinner with all of New York's most decorated people. But he makes this point. It's not just giving money that is going to change the world or create equality. That's not what's gonna happen here. What has to happen is it's a much bigger problem than you being a rich guy and thinking that you're doing your part because you're donating money. The whole economy of America, according to this gentleman, is really in dire need of a revamp of sorts so that there are opportunities for all. And look, you go in and read this on your own. Here's my point about LeBron James, because I know I'm rambling on. You may think that these guys owe Colin Kaepernick an apology, and maybe they do. Maybe they don't, depending on your perspective. But you're not going to get one. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I mean, this article is where I'm coming from. This opinion piece is where I'm coming from. It's not good enough to say we're sorry. And it's not good enough for the NFL or rich white owner to write a check, stroke a check, and go, here you go. See, I care. That's not enough. If LeBron James wants an apology for Colin Kaepernick, what he really wants, what we're talking about, is equality. He's talking about equality. And right now, those owners, you know what they don't want to give up? What the headline says, privilege. Are you willing to give up your privilege? And the fact of the matter is, Jerry Jones ain't giving up no privilege. Okay? Jerry Jones is not giving up any privilege. So while LeBron thinks they should apologize, and while he leans on them with all of his might to apologize, I'm watching now. Is anybody going to do what LeBron says? Because if they are, perhaps they're willing to give up part of their privilege, but I would bet that they're not.
I've never felt like the NFL needs to apologize to Colin Kaepernick as a whole. I always felt like the Players Association let him down. And I say this, I mean, they should have stood behind him if they believed in his cause. If as many people who took a knee decided not to play on that Sunday, and the entire Players Association of every player who agreed with that decided to not play, then you probably would have got something done. The NFL is still a private business. They like a business will tell you, yes, the government doesn't say you have to wear a mask, but the business can say, hey, if you don't put a mask on, you can't come in here. We own this business. It's our business. Yes, you can shop in here if you abide by our rules. And those rules were, quote unquote, unfollowed by Colin Kaepernick and unfollowed by people with masks. So it doesn't matter how mad you get. It doesn't matter how much you huff and puff. The business doesn't have to do business with you if you don't follow their guidelines. And LeBron needs to be very careful. I think everything that he's done with his school has been great. I think his media empire that he's trying to build, I think his fan things off the court. But he needs to be very delicate when he's saying me, the NBA, LeBron James, to this as a spokesperson for the NBA, because you can get yourself in some really difficult spaces speaking for people who also have voices and may not want you speaking for them.
Well, he also opens himself up to the people who say, oh, really, LeBron? You're really so upset about this? How come you don't care about what's going on in China? I mean, that's what people always kind of come back to.
Right.
Is that when the guy from Houston, the general manager from the Rockets, ripped China.
Daryl Morey. And
everybody in the NBA went, shut the hell up, man. What are you doing, dude? What are you up to here? I mean, that's where people then come back and they go, okay, LeBron, well, you're really pushing on this, but you don't seem to have a problem with that. So that's why I'm saying to you, I have respect for this guy, because Muhammad Ali did something in the prime of his career that cost him similar to the way Kaepernick did. The difference is, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali didn't go sue the WBA or the WBC. Okay, he didn't go make lifetime money. So does the NFL owe Colin Kaepernick an apology? I suppose I'll leave that up to you. Some people will say 100%. Other people will say absolutely not. But it is interesting to see LeBron James because he knows who he is. If Michael Jordan wanted to do this, he could have done this. He never wanted to do this. You know what else Michael Jordan didn't want to do? He never wanted to go out with his teammates. He never wanted to be one of the guys. You know, when the games were over, Scottie Pippen and the guys, they went out and they had their fun in the clubs and the restaurants, and Michael was out doing his thing with his crowd. That's the difference between him and LeBron. I mean, LeBron, you know, the stories are he goes out with the other guys on the team. They all go out to dinners, or when they go out to a club, they go out as a team. And you see LeBron James, you know, pass the ball and make people around him better. He is a better teammate and a more active opinionist, which I think is great.
I thought you were going to say better player.
No, but
I thought we were going.
No. He's a better teammate, and he's a more fearless opinionist than Michael Jordan ever was in his career. Forget about GOAT conversation. You know, I just give the guy credit. I really do.